Alaska and expect me not to be dead in a week. Shit, with my luck, I'll be dead in 2 days.
Well, I think you have to. I think you have to define what life is, and life to me is when something happens where there's a growth stage to be an eventual. Meaning, when those two things get together, if you left interrupted, they go and eventually become a human being, and then we follow the other side of the track. That's what I believe happens. It's kind of like Bill Burr. Did you hear what he said?
Then if left interrupted, it will grow and mature and survive, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm on the side of the street, and I have a gunshot wound. If I'm left, I'll die. Am I still alive?
If you're still fighting for life, you are.
Well,
you're still in a growth stage.
If I'm left alone, so you're against the morning after pill then?
I have no problem with the morning after pill. Not that I think that it's right. Just like I don't in certain situations. I always have a problem with abortion, but here's my stance on it. I believe in freedom. I believe in people to make the right choices. However, I do believe that we need to protect the unborn. Now, let's say a young woman is assaulted, okay, and that freedom was taken away from her to make a decision about whether or not she had or was able to become pregnant. Her freedom was taken away. There's absolutely no reason that anybody should say you have to have that baby. I think that it's a horrible tragedy, and I hate to see that.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem with that position. Now, I am not advocating you should force people to have their rapist babies.
Right. Okay.
I agree with you. But how do you justify that?
My justification is
If everyone
simple.
remembers, this is why I say Trump was not pro-life. Because I think he was on Chris Matthews' show. He was one of the only Republicans that actually went on there. And on MSNBC, I know that at least. During this 2016 campaign, he said you ought to punish the mother for having an abortion. Now, back then, that was considered, like, even people in the pro-life community were like, oh my God, it's so outrageous. But he had a point. If it's murder, it's murder. Now, unfortunately, the Republican Party is becoming consistent with its own ideology, I guess. And so they actually want to punish mothers for having abortions and even rape victims to have the rapist babies. And they think a 10-year-old who was raped should be forced to have her rapist child, even though it might kill her. But hey, you know what? At least they're consistent. So I got to give them that fact. But if you think a fertilized egg is a human being, and you honestly believe that, it's justifiable to kill it. It's not the baby's fault that it was conceived of rape.
It's not. But
so what's your justification for murder?
My justification for murder in that specific situation is that the freedom for them to make their choice was taken away. And what it institutes is slavery of that person because their choice, their freedom was taken away from them. However, I do not feel that way about, a couple that goes out and they have unprotected sex and they're like, oh, well, you got pregnant, go, have an abortion. I don't believe that because at that point you have made a choice and now you're willingly doing this.
Well, I think that murder is wrong no matter what. And I think that you're hard-pressed it feels good to say that people who have sex and then want to avoid the consequences should be forced to have that baby. It feels good. But right. I think it's a cop-out. I don't mean to be rude, but to say, well, it's okay in the instance of a rape. Because that's a human being, just like I said it was. So whether the mother was raped or not, that baby doesn't deserve to die. Let me ask you this. Okay. So a woman is raped, okay?
All right.
Then she's knocked unconscious. And this is in the future where we have better medical technology. She's on a ventilator, completely knocked out, right? She's there for 9 months, let's say. And it'll probably be possible in the future. Maybe it's possible now. I'm not a doctor. The baby is born. As it's being born, she wakes up. Said, yeah, you're having a baby. You're raped. Can she say, kill it? Or is she forced to complete the procedure?
Man, that is a tough one. I would still go. And I hate saying
so you would allow. What if it's half out and it's crying and they're pulling it out? Can they crush a skull because she said
You know,
You're not going to.
I'm going to say no at that point, and I'm going to be hypocritical.
Because it's out or what?
You know, that is such a hard one for me. I'm going to say it's bad.
And
no
you
matter
might not
what.
have an answer. I don't know. And that's okay. What?
I honestly can't answer that because
Okay, that's fine.
I love, you know,
it is a hard one.
I love
that's why
kids.
I raised the issue.
Right. Well, and it's hypothetical.
Right
I get that.
Too.
And, you know, we could what if all day. But the truth is, at the end of the day, the only way to get rid of that problem is by educating our children and make them personally responsible again for every part of their life.
Well, you'll never get rid of rape, and you'll never get rid of incest, because you can't get rid of evil. But
a good start would be putting rapists to death. That would be a good start.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And if you're a child molester and you've raped some child, then you're gone forever. You'll never be. Now, I have certain objection to the death penalty. I don't. If you give me the option of dying or being in prison for 50 years, 60 years, and having nothing to do, I'll take dying any day. But I really don't. I really don't believe in the death penalty. I really don't.
So if I was to guess where you're at now in your life, you are pro middle class. You are pro the people. You've kind of had enough of this, you know, me and you've talked about this, Republican, Democrat, they both have their leeches that are hanging on them. They both follow the orders of the big money. You know, it is what it is. Nobody's representing the people anymore, but you are definitely somebody that is, I could care less what the parties say. It's what's best for the people.
I think the party has a purpose. I think the purpose of a party is to, and no matter what country you're in, you have to have some sort of organization structure where people can organize, come together, talk about issues. But I think the party platform study should be a part of it, and standards. Standards has some good points. We both know that student loans is an issue. How we solve it, we're on completely different spectrums. But at least we're talking about it. Right. Republicans, your obligation, screw yourself. Well, that's fine. But that works for a certain generation, but those generations aren't getting any younger.
You know, speaking of generations, I want to bring this up. You're one of the first conservatives ever that came out. And, you know, when you're in this business, you have your finger on the pulse of what people are saying. You're one of the very first conservatives ever that told other conservatives to go blow it out their hole when it came to millennials. And you said, leave them alone.
Oh, yeah, I can't stand it. I can't stand millennial this, millennial that. Or another one I love is socialized medicine. You ever see people in your chat on your show be like, oh, I hate socialized medicine. And you know damn well they're on Medicare.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you know, there's a lot of hypocrisy.
Give it to Medicare. Don't touch my Medicare.
Well, let's be honest here for a second.
So bad.
If you would have been a leftist talk radio host, you would be a multi-millionaire at this point. And
I don't think so. There's so many of them.
You know, I don't know if there is. Well, here's the thing, though.
Not on radio, but radio's dead.
Well, that's even podcasting.
That's why we're doing podcasts.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. The left, the younger generations, they feel pain right now. And the left are the ones that financially support the direction they want the country to go in. Isn't that...
Have you talked to some of these millennials, though?
Tell me.
Like, nothing against millennials, okay? I mean, I am one, all right?
Right.
But I have this girl who's a woman, I guess, 26 years old, 25 years old. She's like a temporary intern or whatever, okay? It's not the Bill Clinton intern. I don't get any head, okay? No stains on my carpet. You know, she helped me on certain cases and stuff, right?
Right.
She's, like, really far left. Like, really far left. And the other night I texted her and I said, you know, if Democrats run around and they can't answer what's a woman, that's pathetic. Well, a woman is a social construct and female is a sexual construct. What the hell does that mean?
Well, okay,
here we go.
Here's my thing.
Here we go.
What I would have responded to her with was, if
don't even bother.
Woman is a social construct and it's imaginary, why do transgenders try to fit the mold of the imaginary illusion created by society? If that's the case, why?
You know what I said? I said, no one goes to the bar and be like, hey, I want to buy a female a drink.
Right.
No, it's a stupid comment. I mean, if that's what people believe, that's fine. I think I'm not sexy. The popular thing to do now, everyone wants to be transgender. It's the 21st century version of bell bottom.
So do you think that our society is crumbling because of the illusionary ideas? See, I do. I think that our society is crumbling because we are allowing people with their imagination to control their life, that reality doesn't matter anymore. It's only about what you feel. And I think
like
anytime...
when Trump talks about voter suppression or voter fraud, right?
Well, that's your idea on it.
Or that well, no. It's a fact that the Hugo Chavez, who is dead, by the way, was not controlling voting machines from what that voting machine company. Like, that's what he said. Like, it was a Hugo Chavez scheme. Like, he's dead. What are you talking about? Forget what that voting machine company was.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think that
like what?
That is a separate issue to me, because it's not really dealing with society. We're talking about politics there. I mean, if you really want to talk about politics, the number one thing that has hurt America is Citizens United by far.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
You know, and here's the thing. 100%. You talk to a Republican, you talk to a Democrat, and they both say that they don't support Citizens United. It's about the people. And it's all bullshit.
What I don't like about the Supreme Court decision for Roe is this. Stare decisis is it's a legal concept that means a decision has been on the books for such a long time that going in and now saying, oh, well, the arguments haven't changed. Same arguments that were issued 50 years ago, you just have different judges. So let's reverse it. And so essentially what it means is it turns the Supreme Court into being perceived as a political branch. All you need to do is control the majority of seats, and then you can reverse all the decisions. And
that's what they say. That's what people think.
Every one of those justices. Huh?
That's what people think. Correct. Now, they're not supposed to be, by the way.
No, that's what I think. That's what I think now. In fact, you overturned Roe. Nothing changed. Not a damn thing has changed. Science hasn't changed, really, because it just hasn't. Their arguments weren't based on science or the fact that, hey, we have artificial wombs or whatever. We can take a fertilized egg and it could be a baby. No, nothing has changed in that regard. It just, the makeup of the court has changed. And Amy Coney Barrett and other Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh, they all got up in front of the Senate, took an oath to tell the truth. Oh, I believe in stare decisis. No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah, so you lied.
Well, I don't think that. I think when you look at what happened with that, it's kind of like this. It's like when a new CEO rolls into town, and they delegate responsibility. When a new CEO rolls into town, and they delegate responsibility from one department to another department. The only thing the Supreme Court did was say, you know what? The delegating responsibility on what's lawful and what's not lawful is no longer at a federal level. It's at a state level, where it should have been all along. It wasn't that they ruled that abortion was illegal. All they said was, you know what? The states can vote on it now.
What did you have after that? What did Mike Pence and other conservatives now said? We need a national prohibition on abortion. The whole argument that it was always about states' rights. Bullshit. It's not about states' rights. That's what they framed it as. Now that it is overturned, now they're talking, well, we need a codification anti-abortion law. We need to make it the law of the land. What about states' rights? Well, it doesn't really matter. We're talking about a baby's life here. Now, look, I'm pro-life, okay?
Right.
But I don't like the inconsistency. That makes me angry.
Well, let's talk about inconsistency for a second. Let's talk about that from your side, the Democrat side. If it was that important to them. Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, okay, go on.
If it was that important to them, why didn't they codify the law when they had the opportunity?
Because the law can be changed. What, you need 60 votes in the Senate? Big deal. They'll probably get that in this election. Yeah, I don't know which seats are up for re-election, but because federal law can be changed.
So what you're saying
why.
is the new election prowess